holidays from New York City. My room is all decorated. I'll give you a little tour. Look at my little gnome friend. He's so cute. And then over here we have some like little garland. Up here we have a cutie little mistletoe. And this is what I'm calling my tree village. Look how cute. Cutie little wreath. And then up here, let us be glad. Let us be grateful. Fa la 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 la. This is the musical side of the room. What you've all been waiting for, the beautiful tree. It's about a 4-foot tree, which is perfect for my tiny little New York City room. I love it so much. So that's my cutie little Christmas decorations that I hung. I love my tree so much. It's so cute. But today we're doing a Q&A. We're doing an all-encompassing, encompassing. You know when you say a word too many times and you're like, is that a word? Encompassing. I think it's a word. We're going to go with it. Encompassing Q&A. So we're going to talk about actor life, NYC, auditions, actors equity. I submitted and asked you guys to put questions you have down. I did a poll on my Instagram stories, and I also added some ones that I have seen in my comments as well. So we have about 15, 16 questions we're gonna go through. I thought this could be fun for the holidays because audition season is right around the corner. For those of you who don't know, audition season really ramps up in the new year. Specifically, the height of it is like February, end of January, going into February. So it is upon us. So I thought answering these questions now would be good so you can kind of prep for that season that's coming up. Which, if you know me, I love auditions. I'm weird like that. So I'm actually very excited for things to start speeding up. I have my laptop here. I made a list of the questions. So I'm going to read the question and then give you the answer. In case you didn't know what a Q&A was. Like, duh, Jenna. Okay, first question. When did you know it was time to join equity? Love this question because I have been asked it so many times and I have a very specific answer. So maybe you have heard the phrase before, you'll know when you know. And when I was younger, specifically in college, in high school, because I went to a performing arts high school, I would ask people when masterclass would come in, I would ask the people who would host the masterclass or the Q&A, I'd be like, when did you know it was time to join equity? And I have a vivid memory of this girl saying, you'll know when you know. And I was like, that's not helpful. I want like actual concrete answers. And I hate to inform you, but I understand it. So back in, let's see, that was 2023. Whoa, do you hear that? Back in 2023, I did a 9-month stint where I was contract hopping. So contract to contract to contract to contract to contract. And my last contract, I was like, I'm ready to join equity. It just was like I'm ready. I just knew because I knew. Like there was no big grand scheme. Like obviously I could tell you like, I wanted higher pay. I wanted the quality of the shows to be good. And my ultimate goal is to be on Broadway, and you need to be equity to be on Broadway. So it just was the right next step, and you'll know when you know when it's right for you. I'm sorry that's an answer that's not really an answer, but that's the answer I'm gonna give. Where do you find auditions? This is a good one because to be a working actor, you have to go to auditions. So where do you find them? So I find my auditions. Actors, let's talk about Audition. Playbill.com. I'm starting with Playbill because it is free. Free. It lets you filter through state, through paid, through performer, through union status. I love this platform and it's free. So how could it get better? Backstage.com. Granted, this is a paid platform. It comes out to around $120 per year. Actors access. This is a free platform to create an account, but you do need to pay to submit. We'll need a Showfax subscription. It comes to $68 a year. So if you're paying $5 for an audition where you upload materials, that means if you do more than 14 auditions a year, the subscription is worth it. Please note, you have to pay to upload media and footage and photos. That is an extra charge, which is not great, but this is where the auditions are. If you are a member of the union, Actors Equity, you can use the member portal, which looks like this on the back end. This is where I find all of my equity appointments. The flip side, if you are non-equity, look at the non-equity theater list. This list is about 17 pages of theaters throughout the US that go directly to the theater's websites. There's 4 columns for you to fill out, and here's what it looks like. When I was non-union, this list booked me about 90% of my jobs. Go directly to the source. If you want to work at a theater, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be listed on the theater's website. May not be something you have thought of, but social media. Theaters are now going to social media and posting casting notices like this one, which is currently active right now. Make sure you're following the theaters that you want to work at. Make sure you're following casting directors because a lot of them are posting now. Remember, there is no right or wrong way to find an audition. The point is just to find work. Wishing you callbacks and contracts. Bye! Any advice to an actor who is planning to begin auditioning in NYC in 2026 for the first time? First of all, congrats! And I know this is specifically from a YouTube subscriber, so thank you so much for submitting. Hey, this is so exciting. I'm so excited for you. First of all, if you see me, say hey. Hey. And second of all, wow, I'm so excited for you. My advice to you is to go to everything and anything you can go to, because when you come to New York City, you are a fresh face. And the biggest thing you want to accomplish in 2026 is having casting and these theaters and whoever you're auditioning for recognize your face when you walk in. So just go and see what works, see what you get called back for, see what is the best time to show up at auditions. Get data. I am such a data person. Like, I notice for myself, when I go to auditions earlier in the day, I notice my callback rate is way higher than if I go in the afternoon. So for me, getting up early makes more sense. And these are things you really have to learn by doing, trial and error. So that is my advice to you. Break all the legs, wishing you callbacks and contracts, and that is so exciting. Audition season in the city is like nothing ever out there. Like, it is just unparalleled. It is so fast and furious, but use it to your advantage and just go to everything. How do you get more callbacks consistently? Well, if I knew that, I would be doing it. I can tell you consistency is the special sauce. It is the magic key. So consistently being in the audition room will help you. So I would say just keep going, keep showing up. Keep going, keep showing up to auditions. It will pay out in the long run. How did I get my equity card? I got my equity card through Open Access, which, if you didn't know, Equity recently dissolved their EMC program, which is Equity Membership Candidate Program, which you had to get a certain number of points per week you worked at an equity theater. Now you can do it through Open Access. So you just have to prove that you have been employed professionally as an actor. And if you can provide like a stipend sheet or a pay stub or a contract, then you can apply to join the union, which is exactly what I did. What does an average audition schedule look like for you? This is a great question that kind of has a wishy-washy answer, because for me, every day and every week looks different. Because right now we're currently in the off season. It's the holiday season, so there's not many auditions. I think in the month of December, I'm gonna go to about like 7 auditions, 7 to 10, to be determined, because we're like halfway through December now. So right now it's very slow versus when we're in January, which you will see, I will take you on audition vlogs. When it's January, the height of last year, I went to 12 auditions in 1 week. That's a lot. That's a lot, if you couldn't tell. So every week really looks different for me, but generally speaking, a normal day for me, I get up, I'll either go to Pilates or go to an audition, then I will come home, eat lunch, and then I will do work, and then if I'm lucky enough, I'll go see a show at night, which that's like my ideal day. Can you still book non-union work as an equity actor? No. If you're in the union, you're in the union and you have to get an equity contract. Where do you live / where do actors live in this city? I live in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I know. Do I give Brooklyn vibes? No, I don't. I used to live all over Manhattan. I would say majority of actors live uptown in Washington Heights, Harlem area. It is kind of swimming with actors up there, mostly because it's affordable. You get a lot of apartment for what you're paying, versus when you're living downtown, you get a smaller amount of apartment and a larger price tag. So, what they say, location, location, location. So I would say most actors live uptown, but I have friends that live literally all over the city. So it just depends on, what kind of vibe you're looking for, because all the different areas in New York have different vibes for sure. Where can I self-tape in the city? I love this question. So this goes into I also got a question that said, where are auditions in the city? So let me walk you through the studios in New York. So the first and main studio I would say that I go to the most is Ripley Grier Studios. They have so many locations, but majority of them are held at 528th Avenue. Maybe on their social media, they give island tropic vibes in their studio spaces. And the second place is Pearl Studios, which is 508th Avenue. They're basically a block away from each other. And this is classic New York studio. When you see old documentaries of auditions and things, it is classic. It's tan curtains, wood floors, mirrored rooms, classic studio when you think of New York. The third is Open Jar Studios, which is a newer studio and the most, I would say, clean and modern studio of them all. It is a little uptown. It is closer to Actors Equity. So I go there when I need to do an audition at Actors Equity and I need to warm up or do something more uptown. And then there is the smaller studio of Sunlight Studios. There is only 1 to 3 auditions per year there, but they do exist. And a lot of Broadway shows go there because it's right in the middle of the theater district. And they will rehearse or put actors into a show there. But it's a cutie little studio. It's just 1 floor. It only has a couple of rooms there. But those are the 4 main studios that I use to self-tape and go to auditions. What do you do as your side hustle? Oh, let's chat about this, because I think being financially stable and financially free as an actor is one of the most important things you can do. It is so important because, as I talked about with my schedule, I can go to any audition I want to because I can work whenever I want to because I am my own boss. So for those of you who don't know, I do 4 main things for my side hustles. I don't really like to call them side hustles because they are full-on businesses. They are full-time, and I have built them from the ground up, and I love them. They fill my cup up so much, and I feel so grateful that I get to do them while also pursuing my passions and my dreams of Broadway. Hashtag Jennifer Broadway. I own a social media management agency that focuses on arts-based small businesses and nonprofits. I also own a theater and brand coaching business called Problem Solved by Jenna. Then on top of that, I am a content creator. So I do brand partnerships, I get paid by the platforms, and I make content like you're watching right now. And then the fourth thing I do is I teach a lot of master classes on social media, being an actor, anything like that. And I also, that goes under like podcast interviews online, things like that. So those are my 4 main revenues when it comes to income, and I love them all. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. And they give me freedom. Going along with side hustles, actor-friendly day jobs. So when I first moved to the city, I had so many day jobs. My main day jobs, I nanny. Majority of actors nanny. I also was a caterer. I also worked with a temp agency. I also was an online stylist for a startup app. A lot of my friends wait tables. They are baristas. So anything like that you can kind of like clock in and clock out are great actor-friendly jobs, and remote jobs. Remote jobs are your best friend when you're auditioning in the city or just in auditioning in general anywhere. What was my first professional job? So glad you asked. I played Martha Cox in High School Musical in Portland, Oregon, and it was a hoot and a half. I also was a dance captain. It was just incredible. We stayed at this bougie hotel in downtown Salem, Oregon, and it was just magical. I want to rewind and do that contract all over again. It was so much fun. How do I deal with rejection? This is a really, really good question, because if you follow me on any other platform, you know I preach a lot about actor mindset and how important it is to be in the right mindset as an actor, because this career, specifically the theater industry, is all about a marathon, not a sprint. The theater industry specifically is a marathon, not a sprint. So you want to make sure you're maintaining your mindset through that long journey. So I deal with rejection in a few ways, but making sure that I am not comparing myself, because I find when I'm comparing myself, I have a higher rejection rate at auditions. When I have no's, like if I'm comparing myself, it makes rejection a whole lot harder. So I try to make sure I'm having healthy habits with my phone and social media, and making sure that my friends that I have in my circle are the correct friends and things like that. I also deal with rejection by not dealing with rejection and like letting myself grieve a role, because a lot of the times that I get to a place where I make it to like say final callbacks for a show, normally I'm in the room multiple times. I've learned a lot of material. I've probably paid for voice lessons or acting lessons. I've rented studios, dance teachers. Like I've probably invested a lot of money as well to get to that point. So letting yourself grieve is really important as well, because you worked hard and it's okay to show that you cared about something. But it also is necessary to, once you hit that submit button, to like release it to the universe. And you've done all you can, and you need to let the universe decide what they want to do with it, you know? So this is a tough question, because I don't think there's a right or wrong way to deal with rejection. I think you'll find what is best for you and what works best for you. So it's an interesting question, but rejection is different for everyone. We have one more question here, which is my favorite question. Dream show and dream role. I will not be giving you just one. I will be giving you a few. So, dream show. One of my favorite musicals is Into the Woods, and I think I could play multiple characters. I think that's how I'll qualify dream show, is like I could play multiple characters. So Into the Woods, Grease, Waitress, and Juliet, Legally Blonde, just to name a few. Dream role. Okay, I wrote some of them down, so I may just read my list because I'm prepared, type A type of person. So, Anna in Frozen, Myrtle in The Great Gatsby, Chloe in Smash, yes, Bridget in Bring It On, Hildy in On the Town, and of course, Tracy in Hairspray. I could play that role forever and ever and ever. I love her so much. There are so many. I probably could sit here and list 20,000 more shows to you. But I will say one of my absolute dream shows is Wicked. I have talked about it so many times before, specifically on Instagram and TikTok. I have made so many reels about it. I was in auditions for it. I was in callbacks for it. Blah, 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 blah. I would love to do Wicked one day. Thank you so much for tuning in for this Q&A, and hopefully you found it helpful going into audition season. I thought it would be good to kind of just sit down and chat this week because it is the holiday season. There's a lot going on. Next week, we have a very busy audition day vlog coming to you, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, all the things, and subscribe here so you don't miss a video. As always, wishing you callbacks and contracts. I will see you next week. Bye!